podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.
She just goes a little mad sometimes.
Do you ever feel like you're normal and the rest of the world has lost its collective mind?
Put your helmet on. We'll be reaching speeds of 3.
Do you find people saying this to you a lot?
Are you totally deranged?
Are you looking for a looking glass to pass through?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Or looking for a rabbit hole to fall down?
Who could think of a better punishment, really? Everything's the same here. It's just a little worse.
Guess what?
Life's a bitch. Now so am I.
You found it. Welcome to Platinum Rose's Garden.
Hello, my darlings. This is Platinum Rose Lady welcoming you to Platinum Rose's Garden on Saturday, December 10th, 2016. Well, for those of you who do not live in the American Northeast, consider yourselves lucky. For those of you who do live in the American Northeast, winter has hit. Screw winter is coming. Winter is here. And it's fucking cold. The last couple of days, the temperature has been steadily dropping. And last night was, oh boy. Last night, I had to leave work and wait for my bus to get to my train, to get to my house, and, you know, the long commute home kind of thing, which I'm sure a lot of you experience as well. And it was like really dark and cold, and I'm like so glad I have a new winter coat because good grief, it was freezing. But it's like 20 something today, and the wind chill makes it even less than that. So it is winter in New England. You gotta love it. So actually, the thing is, I'm just grateful that it's just right now, it's just cold. It's not cold and snowing or cold and icy or cold and, you know, oh my God, we've got snow up to our kneecaps, you know, kind of a thing. That's also New England winters. Yay! I hope everybody had a good week. My week was pretty good. I would like to bring up something, though. I mean, I try and keep things light and happy on this show because we try and be fun here on Platinum Rose's Garden. But I want to bring up something that came to my attention this week that I find irritating and more than a little upsetting. I was reading Twitter, as I often do. You can go follow me on Twitter, PlatinumRoseL@Twitter.com, if you'd be so inclined. And someone had put up a post about the fact that they were at a con, and I think there's someone that's involved with the con, and they were saying how somebody had commented to one of the security people that were, you know, the security forces that, you know, protect Jared and Jensen and the other people at the con, which are great. You know, those guys do a good job. That they were just wondering why there were so many security guards around the guys, and specifically around Jensen. And the reason for that, according to one of the security people, was the fact that Jensen has been groped at several cons to the point where he had actually talked about not wanting to do cons anymore. To the people who have done this or are even thinking about doing it, knock it the fuck off. I mean, would you like someone to walk up to you, a total stranger, and grab you? No? Then don't fucking do it to somebody else. I'm sorry, because somebody is a celebrity, that does not give you the right to paw them, maul them, grope them, touch. Who fucking does this? I mean, seriously. I cannot imagine walking up to somebody and touching them without their permission. You know, especially someone I am not on a close relationship with. I mean, I'll walk up to my husband and give him a hug, because he's my husband and very snuggly. But, sorry, babe. But, I just cannot, for the life of me, picture. I understand you're excited. It's awesome to meet somebody that you've admired for a long time or you find attractive or whatever. I get that. Believe me, I get it. I have met numerous people, including Jared Padalecki, who were really awesome and handsome in real life and just as nice as they were on the screen. Did I touch them? No, unless they hugged me first. It would just never occur to me to put my hands on another human being unless it was okay. I really don't understand people who have this attitude that because someone is a celebrity, you have the right to infringe on their privacy, touch them when they don't want to be touched, kiss them. I really don't understand that. It completely blows my mind. Maybe it's because I'm from New England and we tend to be a little more reserved. People say that New Englanders are cold and stuff like that, which is not the slightest bit true. We're very warm, loving people. Get a few drinks in us. No, we're not going to do that. Seriously though, really think about it. Think about what you're doing before you do it. And if something in the back of your mind tells you this is a bad idea, stop. If you can't picture somebody walking up to you and grabbing you and hugging you, don't do it to somebody else. You can ask them, may I get a hug? And if they say sure, give them a hug. A nice hug. Don't squeeze their ass or anything tacky like that. And if they say no, step off and respect their personal space. People who do stupid shit like this make the rest of the fans look bad. They make us all look like fucking crazy people. And while I normally don't have a problem with looking like a crazy person, that's like the good kind of crazy. That's my usual, quirky, whimsical eccentricness. But there's the bad kind of crazy, and that falls into the bad crazy category, kids. Just, in case you have to be told. Because apparently some people have to be told, which just blows my fucking mind. Completely blows my mind. Okay. Phew. Ranteth done. Of course, we also have to talk good news because if I had to, get a little stern, we have to talk about good news, which I managed to get into the show, thank goodness, last week. But let's just celebrate a little more the fact that Jensen Ackles and his beautiful wife Danielle welcomed their twins into the world. This month, their son Zeppelin and their daughter Arrow, Kermit Flail. Yay! I am so excited for Jensen and Danielle and their daughter JJ. Now she gets to be a big sis to two babies. And Jensen and Danielle don't get any more sleep. We won't Kermit Flail that because sleep is obviously important. I'm so happy for them. And I know certain people, I won't name them, but I live with one of them, were a little bit like, what about the names? I have to be honest. Thinking about it, I'm like Zeppelin. All right. Okay. I like Arrow as a name. I do. I like it. And as for a girl, having it be a girl's name, I like that even better because it's got kind of like this Katniss Everdeen vibe to it. I like it. Sue me. What do you want? Don't judge me. It's just me. Okay. Getting to why you're here, and let's get to that part right now, my Supernatural episode recap.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done.
Season 12, Episode 8 of Supernatural, LOTUS. The Then is dealing with what we've been dealing with since the end of last season and the beginning of this season. The British men of letters, specifically Lady Tony, who had kidnapped and tortured Sam, And also the fact that there were other people of the British men of letters that we know a little bit about, one of them being a gentleman named Mick that had given the Winchesters his card, and also the mysterious and incredibly dangerous Mr. Ketch. We're also dealing with in the then Rowena and her quests to find a rich man to take care of her because she's sick and tired of the witch life with the whole run to the ground by people wanting to kill her, especially Lucifer, and dealing with Lucifer, who is out of the cage, walking around Earth, and up till recently had taken on the vessel of former rock star on his way back to a comeback, Vince Vincente. Lucifer has revealed that his plan is that he doesn't have one. He's still pissed at God and wants to smash all of God's creations, that being us. And Lucifer has taken the attitude that he is going to commit acts of mass slaughter and horror by going further up the food chain, as in inhabiting vessels of people that garner and command respect and power. And now we are at Now. And Now turns out to be a rectory or an archdiocese building where a priest is listening to a newscast about the recent death of a millionaire philanthropist when he is told to turn off the news by his archbishop. The archbishop is seen walking down the hallway of this church building, and as he is walking, the crosses and crucifixes on the wall begin to turn themselves upside down, and the archbishop's eyes flash red. The archbishop has been possessed by Lucifer. Things have definitely hit the oh fucking no level. And we get the opening credits, and we are at the Winchesters walking down a hallway dressed in their Fed suits and being told by a doctor that their fellow agents are already in with the body. They're obviously going into the morgue. Sam and Dean kind of look at each other like, what? And they go into the morgue room where they are greeted by their fellow agents, Castiel and Crowley. Dean ain't having any of this, and Dean promptly rips the badge off of Crowley's Armani suit, which causes Crowley to yelp in indignation. They're looking over the body of a dead millionaire whose eyes have been burnt out. Definitely, the work of Lucifer, who is going from higher vessel to higher vessel, people with more power and prestige. We cut back to the Batcave where Sam is looking through recent pictures online of this archbishop, and Sam tweaks onto the fact that in many of the pictures, in several of the pictures, the archbishop is seen with this millionaire who recently died, and because the millionaire was a big donor to the diocese. And after the millionaire died, the archbishop was seen and photographed at a soup kitchen. And Sam notices that the archbishop in previous pictures, was wearing a very elaborate crucifix. In the picture from the soup kitchen, he's not wearing it. Yay for Sam for noticing stuff like that, because Sam is just awesome. And he brings it to Dean's attention, and Dean tweaks on it right away as well. They suspect that the archbishop has been possessed. They go to the building that we saw earlier in the episode in the pouring rain, and they can't they can't get anybody to answer the door, and all the lights are out. Not a good sign. They go inside. The building is completely trashed. And they do find one priest, barely alive, who tells them there was something wrong with the archbishop, and they had attempted to perform an exorcism. And that went as well as you'd expect it to when people try to exorcise Lucifer from a body. The whole place is a complete slaughterhouse, everyone is dead in extremely grotesque ways, including one priest that's been impaled to a wall. Ugh. The Winchesters find, at the end of their search, find the body of the Archbishop. His eyes have been burnt out, and he is very much dead. We cut to another place. It looks like some kind of a fancy house or compound or something like that. And we see a man sitting on a bed, and he is in prayer, but it's not prayer as in just praying to God for, help or support or something. This is prayer as in, it seems like he's having a conversation. And as we realize where the conversation is going, we're all going, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But as the guy is talking, he's saying that, whoever he's talking to is promising that they can, do the right thing and lead the country back into, a more spiritual path, etc., so on and so forth. And this is why Lucifer is known as the Prince of Lies. And the gentleman winds up saying yes. And there is a bright light. And the man's name is Jeff, and we see Jeff inside his own head talking to Jeff, trying to find out information about the person that he is supposed to be. As the guy is talking, we see people outside his room. We saw them earlier. One of them is a guy in a suit, gets up, goes into the room, and addresses the man as Mr. President. Jeff is the President of the United States, who has now been possessed by the devil, who promptly kills the security guard. And the oh shit level has gone up to DEFCON 5. Okay, so, Jeff manages to talk his way out of a prayer session that is, brought on the next day by his staff. The doctor, the White House doctor, says it looks like the agent died of a cerebral hemorrhage or something like that. Yeah, that's what happens when the devil squishes your head in. And when Jeff is handed a Bible and asked to pray, as he does every morning, I guess, with his staff, who are now on their knees waiting for him to pray, Jeff manages to talk his way out of actual prayers, although he does manage to choke out an amen, which I was surprised at. And as he's talking, the Bible in his hand starts to burn, and he manages to hand off the Bible after the amen, and he's, left with alone for a second, and manages to heal the burn on his hand. We find out that we cut back to the Batcave, where Castiel is looking on Sam's phone at the carnage back at the church, the holy building location. Back at the presidential compound, Jeff, who is is meeting with his staff. One of his members of staff, a young woman named Kelly, is talking about a situation overseas in Belarus. When she asks the president his opinion, he suggests nuking them. And when he looks at the looks of, what the fuck did he just say? On everybody's face, he manages to laugh it off, and all of his staff laugh, and I'm sitting there going, oh dear God, like this couldn't possibly get any worse. Apparently it can. Jeff is told by Kelly that according to the poll numbers, he is the most popular sitting president of all time as of right now, something that pleases Lucifer mightily. It also pleases Lucifer to find out that he is apparently, Jeff is in a relationship of the physical nature with Kelly, and they know each other in the biblical sense. As Kelly and he lie in bed talking, he finds out more information about himself, that he is a widower, and Kelly starts talking about how she wishes they could be public with their relationship, how she wishes they could get married, how it would be wonderful if they could have children, and that he would be a great dad, and Jeff gets this big smile on his face, and I'm like, never mind what I said before, it apparently could get worse, and we are now at oh shit level DEFCON 6. It turns out that Crowley has his fingers in more pies than we realize because he owns the soul of the White House doctor, and she has news for him about the death of a Secret Service agent that wasn't the slightest bit normal. Back at the Batcave, Castiel notices a change in the atmosphere and asks if the wards have been powered down. Sam tells him that they have enough Dean tells him that they have enough for Crowley to be allowed in. Or Sam does, I'm sorry. And nobody's real happy with that, including both Winchesters. Crowley comes in and after some usual snark, tells the guys that he has news about Lucifer's newest vessel and shows them a picture of said from the internet. That Lucifer's newest vessel, which we as the audience knew, and the Winchesters and Cass have now been told to their utter horror, is President Jefferson Rooney. At the compound, Jeff speaks with one of the agents assigned to guard the president, Agent Rick Sanchez. He tells Agent Sanchez that there are two men trying to assassinate him. Two guesses who those men are. Because he's Satan. When Agent Sanchez kind of looks at him like, you mean, metaphorically, right? The president answers, no, they really think I'm Satan, the devil, the whole thing. Agent Sanchez is very dismissive of this idea and very dismissive of the whole idea of there being a devil. Calling the devil, a super villain from a comic book kind of a thing. To which I'm kind of like, well, I'm surprised your guts aren't all over the walls because if we all know if there's one thing Lucifer cannot stand, it's being talked about disparagingly, and talked about in a way that minimizes his power. But now, unfortunately, the Winchesters are once again on a governmental shit list. We see back at the Batcave, Sam, who is standing away from Cass and Dean right now, is actually trying to call Mick from the Men of Letters, the British division, the guy that had left the number in a few episodes back. I was like, okay. And needless to say, the president is not going to be easy to get at. He is currently in a compound in Indianapolis, Indiana, owned by a presidential friend, one of these rich people that, hangs around with politicians. And needless to say, the Winchesters aren't going to be able to work their usual magic to get in there. Then they're going to have to call in all of their support on this, and that includes Rowena. Rowena, meanwhile, is in the process of being dumped by her latest fiancé, who has been seeing another woman. Not smart. Said ex-fiancé, it turns out, is also a scam artist who thought Rowena was rich and that he was latching on to a meal ticket when Rowena thought he was rich and she was latching on to a meal ticket. Didn't Alanis Morissette write a song about this back in the 90s? Anyway, when Crowley appears and the guy confuses him for his laundry guy, Crowley manages to dispatch the faux fiancé rather messily. And Rowena is actually quite touched that Fergus would do something so kind for her. So she doesn't have to do it. We cut back to the president, who is in bed with Kelly again, and they're talking as they're, more pillow talk after if they're having, while they're having sex or after they've had sex. And it's really very disturbing to know that this is the Prince of Darkness lying in bed with this young woman who has absolutely no clue, and now he's thinking about becoming a baby daddy. And apparently angelic sperm, or at least, I don't know, sperm is not the right word, I guess angelic energy, even if it's a fallen angel, works incredibly fast, because back at the Batcave, Castiel is overwhelmed by voices from angelic radio, because there has been this enormous power surge, and the reason for it is because a Nephilium has been created. And there actually have been Nephilium on the show previously. Cass and Metatron had to hunt one down, if you recall. A Nephilium, for those of you who would like to be spared a trip to the dictionary, is what happens when an angel and a human have relations. Apparently this is not a good thing. Normally, when a human and an angel have relations, a Nephilium is usually referred to as an abomination. The fact that said angel in this case is an angel that God booted out of heaven, I would think puts the abomination level at about 1.5 million, give or take. I'm not sure. The Winchesters and Castiel are driving to Indianapolis, which is where this compound is. But the problem is the Impala is now on the watch list of the government. A cop notices it and alerts the Secret Service. The Impala's pulled over and the guys wind up being attacked by the feds. Fight breaks out, guns get drawn, and before the standoff can get, any worse, all of a sudden a car pulls up behind the Impala a little ways down the road. And to the smooth tunes of Dave Brubeck's Take 5, a man gets out of the car with a grenade launcher and proceeds to blow up the secret agent, the Secret Service's van. Everyone gets thrown to the ground except Cass, who stands there and, takes the blowback from the fire because, hello, angel, can't hurt him. Winchesters meet Mr. Ketch. Mr. Arthur Ketch, to be precise. Mr. Ketch orders Castiel to erase the agent's memories, and we have a meeting between Team Freewill and Mr. Ketch in the woods that evening, where Dean and Castiel find out from Mr. Ketch that Sam had put in a call to Mick, and because Sam had hung up, Mick assumed Sam was in trouble and alerted Mr. Ketch, who has actually been following the Winchesters anyway. Sam at least looked like, oh crap, I know I'm in trouble for this one, because Dean and Cass did not look happy. As they find out from Mr. Ketch, from the sound of things, Mr. Ketch isn't a big fan of Lady Tony either, as he refers to her less than nicely, considering I've referred to her as a fucking bitch. But he tells them a little more about the British men of letters, including the fact that they've been around for centuries, and that over these centuries they have accumulated, a lot of knowledge, and also have been using magic combined with technology to come up with some, to be honest, pretty cool shit. Also, from Mr. Ketch's attitude, you can tell he has dealt with angels before, because he definitely isn't very awestruck by Cass. And he does respond rather drolly to Cass's remark about that truth can be situational. Mr. Ketch's response of, oh, I do so enjoy an angel, does tend to indicate he's had dealings with angels before and doesn't seem terribly impressed with them. he shows a couple of gadgets that would make James Bond pass out, including a gun that can kill vampires by messing with their DNA for the most part, and also a hyperbolic pulse generator. Now, what this little gizmo can do is it can drive a demon out of a person's body, allegedly better than an exorcism, because as Mr. Ketch says, exorcisms can be, quote, unreliable, end quote. If by the way I'm speaking of him, it might sound like I like Mr. Ketch. I don't. I find him a very smug, condescending prick. But I got to admit, he's got some really cool tech. And you can actually see Sam kind of being like, wow, that's pretty cool about some of this stuff. Sam gets so little boyish about gadgets. Boys and their toys, I swear. But anyway, this hyperbolic pulse generator, as I mentioned, according to Mr. Ketch, can drive a demon out of a host's body. And the Winchesters have the idea that they can use it to drive Lucifer out of his vessel. Maybe, maybe not. We're not sure. But that's the plan, that they're going to use this thing to drive Lucifer out of President Rooney, and then Rowena will use her magic to put him back in the cage. Of course, as it turns out, the Winchesters can't go into this place because obviously they're on a watch list. And the best person for the job is decided that it will be Crowley, whose response is, bollocks. I don't really blame him. I gotta be honest. We cut in to Kelly, who is sitting outside the compound on the phone with somebody, telling them that she is pregnant. Remember that oh shit factor that I said was up to DEFCON 6? Is there a DEFCON 99? Because I think we just hit it. And Crowley shows up telling her that this may sting a little and teleports her away. She's brought to the Winchesters and Rowena and Castiel, and they manage to tell her the truth about everything, including the fact that, guess what, honey, you're pregnant with the devil's child. She doesn't believe them at first until Castiel has her hold a Bible, and the Bible starts to smoke in her hand and then promptly catches fire. And she believes them after that one. And also she has to admit to them that even before the Bible test, she had noticed that Jeff had changed. We cut to the president, who is rehearsing his speech for pardoning Charles Manson. For those of you who remember your parents freaking out because Nixon got a pardon, really? And he winds up getting a phone call from Kelly that obviously has made him more than a little upset, because there is an abrupt evacuation of the compound. And we see these agents showing up at a motel, and the agents go in and sweep Kelly's room and find no one, thanks to Castiel, who does an angel mind trick telling them that there's nobody there except Kelly and to wait in the car. So they go back outside and get in the car, and Jeff goes in to meet with Kelly. And Kelly tells him that she can't have this baby, and Lucifer shows his true colors by grabbing Kelly around the throat and starts to choke her, telling her that he kind of insists that she does have the baby as his eyes go red. And the Winchesters attack along with Cass by using this, I've lost the name of it, the hyperbolic pulse generator that Sam's holding. Lucifer can obviously feel the effects of it, and he throws Cass and Dean away, and Sam manages to stand his ground as the object actually does what it's supposed to do while Rowena is casting the spell, and Lucifer is driven out of Jeff's body. Before that happens, though, he tells Sam that things aren't over, and Sam tells him, go to hell, because he's fucking Sam motherfucking Winchester. That's fucking why, motherfuckers. And Lucifer is pulled from the president's body And as Rowena casts the final part of the spell, she throws the herbs into a cauldron or bowl, really, yells the last part of the incantation. Lucifer's essence goes down through the grate in the motel floor next to Sam, and I'm assuming he is sent back to hell and sent back to the cage. I'm hoping that he didn't just escape. I think he actually was sent back to the cage, and things actually worked. The president falls to the ground, and Castiel runs to check on him as, obviously a traumatized Kelly looks on and goes to him as well. Jeff is, I don't even know how this is possible, but Jeff is still alive. And Castiel tells the room that Jeff won't remember what happened. Now, I'm assuming that means he says he won't remember anything. So I'm assuming that means, saying the whole saying yes and all that stuff too. Crowley and Rowena are gone when Sam and Dean look, and Castiel manages to get Kelly into the next room, the next room in the motel, leaving Sam and Dean alone for a second, and they're both completely stunned, and Dean just says in this completely I don't believe this happened voice, "We got Lucifer." And the only thing Sam can do after probably feeling like he just stood in the middle of a hurricane is kind of give this smile and this kind of small nod in agreement and complete relief. Castiel and Kelly get out of the other motel room and manage to get away as the agents wind up coming back to, lucidity because Cass's angel mojo wore off. The agents come into the room, guns drawn, and find Sam and Dean kneeling over the unconscious body of the president. And Agent Sanchez has them arrested for attempting to assassinate the president. And the brothers are placed into an armored truck, kind of, prisoner dispatch kind of a thing. We see Castiel and Kelly in a diner, and Kelly gets up and says she needs to use the ladies' room. Cass, for some reason, does not go with her, or at least go, stand outside the ladies' room door and make sure she's okay. And instead of going in the ladies' room, she leaves. Cass gets up when a minute or two later when she's not back, calls into the ladies' room, looks into the ladies' room, she's not there, and all of a sudden his phone rings. Kelly is calling Castiel. She's in a cab driving away, saying that she can't hurt the baby. She can feel the baby growing inside her. And even though Castiel tells her, this is an abomination, you're carrying the child of Lucifer, she tells him that she's still the child's mother, and she hangs up. We cut back to Sam and Dean, who are in shackles and handcuffs, looking at each other like, what do we do now? Kind of look, as they're being driven down the road in this truck, to who knows where, and the episode ends. I have to give Lotus a 3.5 bouquets out of 5. I know a lot of people had a lot of problems with this episode. A lot of people didn't like it. I'm not saying I loved it. I think there were really good parts to it. I'm a little bit my biggest problem, a lot of people said they felt the Winchesters acted dumb in this episode, and I didn't feel like they did. They had never dealt with Nephilium before. The whole thing with Cass and the other Nephilium happened in a part of the episode they weren't involved with, so they never dealt with Nephilium before. I think my big problem is that Cass didn't go stand by the door, didn't watch Kelly go to leave, to go, use the ladies' room, that he, didn't even turn around. I mean, I know he's probably pretty drained after the battle they had. Also, the simple fact that I don't really understand why Cass didn't just touch her on the forehead and abort the child. I mean, abort the fetus, abort the Nephilim? I realize that might piss off a lot of pro-life people out there, but this is the spawn of the devil, so, I thought the episode wasn't that bad. I might be wrong. I enjoyed it for a lot of different reasons. Just the simple fact that Sam was able to finally, give the devil the middle finger, which I thought was great. That he showed no fear, at all. After everything Lucifer's done to him, he showed no fear. And, that's who Sam is. Sam Winchester is a fucking hero. And I wish more people would, acknowledge that fact. Not that Dean's not a hero too, and Cass is a hero as well, But anyway. So now we're left waiting for a little over a month. Between Supernatural and Sherlock, it's a really good thing I don't drink. Because I'd just get in a bottle of vodka and never come out. Supernatural will be back with episode 9, which we don't have a title for as of yet. It will return on January 26th, 2017, at a new time. Supernatural will be back at 8 p.m. So, going to be a little bit earlier. Hopefully that won't mean that the gore factor will be toned down. I really hope it doesn't, because that's what part of the thing that makes Supernatural so fun. We know that Cass and Mary are going to mount a rescue to try and get the guys out of whatever prison they're in, one of these prisons that the government says doesn't exist. Where's Julian Assange when you need him? It's going to be a heck of a wait, guys. It won't be a long one, but it won't be an easy one. Okay, a couple of other things before I head out of here, kids. Want to talk some movie news with you guys and some movie stuff. 2016 has been a pretty cool year for movies so far. Obviously, one of the biggest movies ever, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, comes out this coming week. I got tickets already. I'm going with my friends and my husband, and I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome! Because I'm a warzy. Don't judge me. But I want to bring up a movie that didn't get a lot of airplay earlier this year. And I happened to catch it today, tooling around on TV. And it's a really good movie. I really, really enjoyed it. It's a movie called I Saw the Light. And it's a biopic about country superstar Hank Williams Sr. and his tumultuous life and tragic death at the age of 29. He is played in this movie by actor Tom Hiddleston, who is really friggin' gorgeous, and is a great actor, and is also an amazing singer. He did his own singing in this movie, and he is so damn good, you guys. I am not kidding. He's really excellent. So if you get a chance, check out I Saw the Light. Great movie, super awesome, very good. It's sad, and it might not be for everybody's taste because it is country music, but if you're into that sort of thing, check it out. Also, I would like to do a little pluggy poo for a local place. If you are in the Boston area, for whatever reason, I would like to recommend, if you are looking for a place to get some different sort of food, to get some good food, go check out the Boston Public Market. It's located on 100 Hanover Street in Boston. It is this indoor market, and it is so cool, you guys. They have all kinds of fresh local produce, and they do fish and, cheese and candy and chocolates, and they have little restaurants and places where you can sit down and eat, and cookbooks and, soap and all kinds of stuff from local vendors, and it is so cool. They are open till 8 o'clock, so on most nights. You can check them out. Google Boston Public Market, and it'll take you to their information. You can look them up and stuff like that. I hope you will totally do that, and I hope you will check out the other shows that I am involved with on the internet. Those would include Subject Cinema, which is the movie podcast that my husband TC and I do and have been doing for over a decade. Holy crap. It is a really fun show. We put a lot of effort and work into it because we love movies and we want you to love movies as much as we love movies. So check it out over at subjectcinema.com. And you can also check out Front Row 5 and 10, which is our list show where we talk about lists that we make up about movies and TV and books and music. And if you have a list that you'd like us, an idea for a list that you'd like us to do, please write to us and let us know. If you would like to write to me about anything, please do so at platinumroselle@yahoo.com. Put PRG in the header and I will know it is about my show. I hope you will also check out Cave Babble over at cavebabble.com, which is the Lion family, Eric and Valerie and their kids and grandkids. They do a really awesome show, and I hope you will check them out because they're super fun, cool people. We have a Patreon campaign going right now. You can check that out at patreon.com/PNRNetworks. If you have a little loose coin you'd like to send our way, we would definitely appreciate that. And this is going to be the final podcast of Platinum Rose's Garden for 2016. Oh my gosh. When I come back, we will be in 2017. Can you believe it? So I would like to say from the bottom of my heart to all who celebrate, whatever you celebrate, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa, a happy day to sleep in late or go to the movies or do whatever you do. And I would also like to wish you a happy and joyous and prosperous new year. I love you all very much, and I hope that everybody out there stays safe and has a wonderful end of the year and a great beginning of the year. 2017 is going to be bright. This is Platinum Rose Ladies signing off, reminding you to love the ones you hug the ones you love, and take some time to stop and smell the roses. See you next year!
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.